The stars stretched endlessly above the bridge of the human starship Endeavour, each one a tiny spark in the black ocean of space. Captain Jerk Hale stood with his hands clasped behind his back, staring at the distant gleam of the Lyrian system. It was his first journey beyond the edges of explored human space, and despite the pride swelling in his chest, a knot of uncertainty twisted in his stomach. Humanity had sent messages of peace, invitations of friendship, and now, at last, they were being answered. But no one had truly expected what awaited them. The Lyrians were legendary. Tales from explorers described a civilization far older and more advanced than humanity. They were taller, more graceful, with skin that shimmered faintly in the light of their home stars. Their cities were said to float among the clouds of giant planets, built from materials unknown to Earth science, humming with power that made human engines seem like toys. And at the center of their society was the Lyrian High Council, guardians of law, tradition, and the enigmatic princess. "She's not just royalty," said Lieutenant Mara Chen, stepping up beside Jerk. Her voice was calm but tinged with excitement. "They say the princess chooses whom she honors based on wisdom, courage, and character. Not power, not wealth. Character." The ship's sensors struggled to interpret the architecture. It was unlike anything humans had ever seen. Jerk felt a thrill run through him. This was it. The first moment when humans would truly meet the Lyrians. The landing was smooth. They emerged from the ship into a vast plaza that stretched farther than the eye could see, lined with alien structures that gleamed under multiple suns. A hush fell over the human crew as Lyrians began to appear. They moved with a fluid grace, their eyes bright with intelligence and curiosity. A figure stepped forward. Tall, cloaked in shimmering robes with an expression of calm authority, the Lyrian herald spoke in perfect English, an indication of their vast knowledge and reach. "Welcome, representatives of Earth. You are honored to be here. You will participate in the Tournament of Merit. The prize is the honor of meeting Princess Serenia. Only those who demonstrate courage, intelligence, and unity may proceed. We observe, we adapt, we succeed." He noticed immediately the subtle mechanisms embedded in the maze, walls that shifted with sensors, floors that altered gravity, puzzles that required observation and creativity rather than brute force. He gestured to his crew. "Split into pairs, observe everything, communicate constantly." Humans hesitated only a moment before Jerk pointed to a small panel on the wall that emitted a soft light. Mara pressed it, and the wall slid aside, revealing a safe path. "See," Jerk whispered, smiling. "Sometimes it's the little things that matter most." A misstep would send the floor shifting dangerously beneath them. Jerk crouched, observing the tiles, and noticed subtle differences in color and texture. "Follow the rhythm," he told his team. Slowly, they stepped in perfect sequence, moving past the trap without incident. While other competitors struggled or fell behind, the humans advanced steadily. The Lyrians watched, some frowning, others whispering among themselves. It became clear, these humans were not relying on strength, nor on technology alone. They were thinking, observing, and acting as one. Finally, they reached the center chamber. A puzzle awaited, a massive crystal with engraved symbols glowing faintly. Each competitor had to align the symbols in a pattern representing the balance of mind and heart. Jerk examined the inscriptions and realized they formed sequences representing trust, sacrifice, and cooperation. He smiled. "It's not about getting it right alone. We do this together." They moved symbols in tandem, communicating, correcting mistakes without blame, encouraging each other. The crystal pulsed, then shone brightly, signaling success. Humans had passed the trial. The Lyrians murmured in astonishment. A species they had underestimated had proven worthy, not through brute skill but through intellect, empathy, and unity. Jerk felt a surge of pride. This was humanity's first victory in alien space, and it was one they had earned with what made them truly human. After the trial, the humans were escorted to their quarters, a structure carved from a single giant crystal. Through the walls, they could see the Lyrian city stretching endlessly, lights twinkling like stars reflected on water. The beauty was overwhelming. Mara leaned against a wall, eyes wide. We actually did it. We survived the first test. Holographic maps of the next trial were projected in the center. It would test physical coordination, precision, and adaptability in ways they had never encountered. But Jerk saw opportunity where others might see danger. Humans were unpredictable, capable of improvisation and creativity. These were strengths few in the galaxy truly understood. Sleep was brief. Before dawn, Jerk walked alone through the crystal corridors. He paused at a window, looking out at the city. Somewhere, Princess Serenia moved among her people. Rumors said she was brilliant, wise, and discerning, able to see beyond appearances. He wondered what she would think of humans. Would she see potential, or just the raw chaos of a species barely touching its own possibilities? As the sun rose over the violet clouds, casting refracted light across the towers, Jerk felt a deep certainty settle in him. This tournament was more than a contest, it was a stage, and humans were ready to step into it with courage, intelligence, and heart. The first day ended with ceremonial announcements. The Lyrians praised the competitors for their efforts, but it was clear that eyes lingered on the humans. Whispered conversations spoke of the unpredictable nature of humanity, of their cleverness and their surprising resilience. Among the audience, Princess Serenia's gaze was steady, thoughtful, and curious. Jerk returned to his quarters, exhaustion heavy in his body but his spirit unbroken. Humanity had been underestimated, but now respect had begun to take root. They had taken the first step in a journey that would test everything they knew about themselves and about the universe. And as he drifted into a light sleep, a final thought stayed with him. The prize was not gold, not power. The prize was the recognition of human worth, the chance to prove that Earth's people, small and untested as they might seem, could stand among the stars with courage, intelligence, and honor. The morning sun filtered through the crystalline walls of the human quarters, painting the floors in shades of violet and gold. Captain Jerk Hale awoke to the hum of the Lyrian city outside, the soft whispers of their technology echoing through the corridors. Today was no ordinary day. The humans would finally interact more closely with the Lyrians, not just in trials but in their world. Jerk dressed quickly, his mind already analyzing the day ahead. Their first test of the morning was not in combat or puzzles but in cultural understanding. The Lyrians valued diplomacy, observation, and adaptability. One misstep in etiquette could cost them dearly. Lieutenant Mara Chen joined him, her expression serious. "Captain, the Lyrians expect respect, not just in words but in gestures, timing, and even in breathing. Then we'll show them humanity can be precise when it matters. Let's just remember, we're guests in their world. Observation first, action second." Children watched from balconies, their bright eyes wide with wonder. Though the humans were far from home, there was a warmth to the city, a sense that even in alien perfection, life thrived. At the center of the plaza, a large circular arena had been prepared. Here, the next challenge would take place. A group of Lyrians stepped forward carrying devices that looked like transparent spheres filled with shifting lights. These were the mind mirrors, instruments designed to test creativity, logic, and intuition simultaneously. "You will work in pairs," the herald announced, speaking in clear English. "The task is simple in explanation, complex in execution. Synchronize your thoughts, understand your partner, and guide the energy through the maze of lights without breaking the pattern. Only cooperation will succeed. Watch each other, communicate silently if you must, and trust your instincts." The humans hesitated at first, unsure of the rhythm. Jerk observed carefully. "Think less about perfection," he told Mara, "and more about flow. Humans excel when we adapt quickly." Other humans followed, each pairing learning from the first, refining coordination. Soon, the human team was completing sequences with a rhythm and creativity that surprised even the Lyrians. The audience watched in silence. For a species so disciplined and precise, the humans' method was unconventional, unpredictable, and yet effective. They were not copying the Lyrians. They were inventing their own strategies in real time, improvising and learning as they went. When the trial ended, the humans had not only succeeded but had done so elegantly, earning applause from the crowd and nods of approval from the Lyrian judges. Jerk allowed himself a small smile. Humanity's strength was never in following rules perfectly. It was in adaptability, ingenuity, and resilience. After the trial, the humans were escorted to the Gardens of Reflection, a serene area where crystalline plants glimmered in multiple hues and streams of liquid light wound through the paths. Here, they would meet the princess, if only briefly. Serenia appeared gracefully, her presence commanding attention without demanding it. Her skin shimmered faintly in the sunlight, her eyes deep and thoughtful. She studied the humans quietly, her gaze lingering on Jerk. "Captain Hale," she said, her voice soft but confident. "Your species is unusual. You do not follow our patterns, yet you succeed. Why do you think that is?" "The trials are designed to show who can rise to challenges without losing their principles. You have passed the first steps, but the true tests lie ahead. Let's make her see who humanity truly is." The goal was to navigate across to the far side while carrying a sphere of energy without dropping it. Other competitors approached cautiously, calculating each step. Many fell, some failing entirely, their spheres lost. The humans hesitated only briefly before moving with observation and adaptability. Jerk studied each platform, noting its rhythm. He instructed the team to move as one, matching timing and weight carefully. They advanced, some moments of imbalance corrected by quick teamwork. When a platform tilted dangerously, a human instinctively steadied a teammate. The Lyrians watched in quiet awe. It was not just skill, it was trust, quick thinking, and coordination. Finally, the humans reached the far side. The energy spheres glowed brightly, signaling success. A wave of applause swept through the chamber, and murmurs spread across the arena. The humans had succeeded where many highly trained Lyrians had failed, again proving that adaptability and collaboration could rival even the most precise planning. That evening, the human team gathered in their quarters, exhausted but exhilarated. Jerk stood before them, pride evident in his eyes. "Today, we showed that humans are more than expected. We are not just surviving, we are thriving. That is what makes us strong. Humanity is unpredictable, yes, but in that unpredictability lies our power. We learn, we adapt, and we never lose heart. That is what sets us apart." Somewhere among the lights, Princess Serenia walked among her people, watching, reflecting, learning. And for the first time, she considered that humanity might be more than just a curiosity. They might be a species capable of remarkable deeds, worthy of recognition in ways the Lyrians had never imagined. Jerk lay in his quarters that night, staring at the ceiling, replaying the day in his mind. Each trial had been more than a test of skill, it had been a revelation. Humanity was not merely a newcomer, it was a species that could rise to challenges through creativity, courage, and unity. And as sleep finally claimed him, a thought lingered. The true challenge was only beginning. The humans had impressed, yes, but the Lyrians had yet to reveal the deepest trials, the ones that would test not just skill or intelligence, but heart and principle. And when that time came, Jerk knew that humanity would be ready, not just to compete, but to shine. For the first time, he understood something profound. The prize was never gold or territory, never weapons or influence. The true prize was respect. The true prize was recognition of what it meant to be human, to stand strong with courage, wisdom, and compassion. And with that thought, he drifted into sleep, the lights of the Lyrian city casting gentle patterns across the walls, as if to whisper a promise. The journey had only just begun, and the best of humanity's story was yet to be written. The next morning, the human crew awoke to a sky of violet and gold, the twin suns of the Lyrian system casting long, shifting shadows across the crystalline city. Captain Jerk Hale stood at the window of his quarters, watching as the Lyrians prepared the next stage of the competition. Today's trial, he knew, would test something far deeper than skill or intellect. It was designed to reveal character. Lieutenant Mara Chen joined him, carrying a small tablet with projected instructions. "Captain, this is different. They call it the trial of reflection. It's not about speed, strength, or solving puzzles. It's about judgment, empathy, and insight. We may face choices that have no clear answer. Not just our minds, but our hearts. Keep your focus, trust one another, and observe everything. We will rise to the challenge." The humans entered cautiously, sensing that every choice could carry weight beyond the obvious. As they advanced, they encountered the first challenge. Two paths, one brightly lit, the other dim and shadowed. A Lyrian voice echoed through the maze. "One path is easier but leads to failure. The other is uncertain and perilous, yet may hold the way forward. Choose wisely." Some of the Lyrians immediately rushed toward the bright path, assuming it was the correct choice. Jerk held up a hand. "Humans do not always take the obvious path. We must consider, observe, and decide together." One platform floated over a chasm, and only by working together could they balance its motion and cross safely. Another chamber required them to solve a puzzle that involved interpreting the emotions of holographic Lyrians projected in the walls. Through it all, the humans succeeded not because they were stronger or faster, but because they adapted, communicated, and cared for one another. When one member faltered, the others offered guidance without frustration. When a choice had moral implications, they debated, considering not just personal gain but the consequences for all. In a particularly challenging chamber, they encountered a Lyrian competitor trapped under a collapsing crystal arch. Others hesitated, thinking the rules might not allow interference. Jerk acted without hesitation. "We save them. Humanity does not win at the expense of others." The trials became more complex, requiring not just action but judgment. In one room they found a scale with two glowing spheres, each containing visions of possible futures. One promised immediate recognition, the other long-term growth but more effort. Humans debated carefully, weighing courage against comfort, wisdom against impatience. They chose the sphere that required patience, creativity, and integrity. Once again, the labyrinth shifted, acknowledging the correctness of their choice. Meanwhile, Princess Serenia observed from a balcony above the labyrinth. Her expression was thoughtful, her eyes following each human move with growing interest. She whispered to her aide, "They are unlike anything I have seen. They succeed not because of raw power, but because they care, they think, and they work together. Perhaps this is what our people have been missing." They were not just competing, they were proving a larger truth. Humans could face uncertainty, danger, and moral complexity without losing sight of their principles. Near the center of the labyrinth, they found the most difficult challenge yet. A massive crystal sphere hovered above a pit, glowing with energy. Around it were 5 levers, each connected to hidden mechanisms. The instructions were cryptic. To release the sphere safely, all levers must be activated in harmony, but if even one lever is misused, the sphere would fall, ending the trial. The team hesitated, analyzing the levers and the sphere's subtle vibrations. Time was running out as other competitors watched, some impatient, others desperate. Jerk took a deep breath. "This is about trust, observation, and unity. Everyone must act together. Watch the patterns, communicate clearly, and follow my lead." After tense moments, the sphere rose gently, hovering steadily before settling safely on its platform. The chamber glowed, signaling completion. The humans had passed the trial, not through brute strength or cunning alone, but through character, courage, and cooperation. Word of their success spread quickly among the other competitors, some of whom whispered in disbelief. The humans had not only survived but excelled in a challenge designed to reveal the essence of being worthy. Exiting the labyrinth, the humans were met by Princess Serenia herself. Her presence radiated calm authority, yet there was a warmth in her gaze. "Captain Hale and the people of Earth," she said, her voice carrying over the plaza. "You have demonstrated courage, wisdom, and compassion. You have chosen paths that required sacrifice, patience, and cooperation. These are the qualities we value above all. You have not only passed this trial, you have shown the true nature of your species. We hope our actions today reflect that." It had been exhausting, mentally and physically, yet invigorating. Mara spoke quietly to Jerk. "Captain, we didn't just succeed. We proved something. We showed them that humanity is capable of more than they expected. The real test isn't just completing challenges. It's showing who we are, even when the stakes are high, when the outcome is uncertain. That is the essence of humanity." Somewhere within that brilliance, Princess Serenia walked among her people, watching, listening, and learning. Jerk thought about the subtle glances she had given him and his team. There was curiosity there, yes, but also recognition, an acknowledgement that humanity might be a species capable of something extraordinary. They had passed the labyrinth, yet Jerk knew the greatest challenges were still ahead. The final trials would demand not only skill, intelligence, and character, but also moral judgment under pressure, the ability to act decisively in the face of uncertainty, and perhaps even the courage to protect others at personal cost. As he prepared for sleep, Jerk reflected on what they had learned. The humans were not invincible, but they were resilient, resourceful, and unyielding. They had faced situations no one expected them to navigate successfully, and had emerged stronger, wiser, and more unified. The prize, he realized once more, was not just recognition. It was the opportunity to demonstrate what humans could accomplish when they worked together, when they stayed true to their values, and when they faced impossible odds with courage and creativity. In the quiet of the night, as the twin moons rose over the Lyrian towers, Jerk felt a deep sense of purpose. The humans had earned the attention of the Lyrians, and perhaps even the curiosity of Princess Serenia. But more importantly, they had earned a truth that could not be given by others. They had proven to themselves the strength, ingenuity, and moral clarity that defined their species. Tomorrow, the competition would continue. New trials would come, more dangerous and complex than before. Yet the humans were ready, not only to face them, but to redefine what it meant to be human in a galaxy filled with wonders, challenges, and beings far older and wiser than themselves. And as sleep finally claimed him, Jerk felt a quiet certainty. Humanity's true strength was not in machines, not in weapons, nor in numbers. It was in the mind, the heart, and the unity of people willing to face the unknown together. That was the prize that no trial could take away. The next day dawned with a quiet tension over the Lyrian city. The twin suns glinted off the crystalline towers, casting long patterns across the streets. Captain Jerk Hale stood at the edge of the plaza, observing the competitors gathering for the day's trials. There was a sense of anticipation in the air, but it was heavier than before. Today's challenge would not just test skill or intellect. It would test resolve, courage, and the ability to act under pressure when the stakes were higher than ever. The humans were escorted to a massive chamber known as the Hall of Elements. Inside, 5 enormous platforms hovered over a chasm, each representing a different elemental force: fire, water, air, earth, and energy. At the center of the hall floated a crystal pedestal, glowing faintly. On it rested a small, intricate sphere, humming with power. The Lyrian herald's voice echoed through the hall. To succeed, competitors must retrieve the sphere of harmony from the center and bring it safely to the opposite side. The hall is alive. It will challenge you, test your judgment, and observe your character. Only those who demonstrate intelligence, courage, and compassion may succeed. We stay together, we communicate, and we adapt. Next came the water platform, which surged with liquid motion. Its surface rippled unpredictably, threatening to throw anyone off. Jerk observed patterns in the flow and called out instructions, guiding each member to step in harmony with the rhythm. They reached the far edge without losing the sphere, earning quiet acknowledgement from the Lyrians watching above. The third platform, Earth, was solid but crumbled in places under pressure. Here, strength alone would not suffice. Judgment was required. Jerk instructed the team to distribute their weight carefully, reinforcing weak points with improvised supports from fragments of crystal. One misstep could have ended the trial, but their combined ingenuity and caution carried them forward. Finally, they approached the fire platform. Flames danced along the edges and heat rose in waves. The Lyrians whispered among themselves, clearly doubting the humans' ability to succeed here. Jerk reminded the team to stay calm, to observe patterns, and to use their wits rather than force. They found gaps in the flames, rhythm, and timed their movements perfectly, advancing slowly but safely. All that remained was the energy platform. The sphere on the pedestal pulsed faster, its hum rising in intensity. This platform was unpredictable, shifting rapidly in 3 dimensions. Many competitors hesitated or retreated. Jerk took a deep breath. This is it. The final step. Trust yourselves, trust each other, and stay focused. Jerk noticed that the sphere's hum seemed to respond to their movements, as if it recognized the harmony of their teamwork. When one member stumbled, another steadied them immediately. Each step was calculated, each action deliberate. Their unity and focus carried them across the final distance. At last, they reached the opposite side. The sphere glowed brightly, signaling their success. The Lyrians erupted in applause, some shaking their heads in astonishment. Humans had succeeded in a trial designed to challenge even the most experienced Lyrians. But as they celebrated, Jerk's instincts told him to stay alert. He noticed movement in the shadows, other competitors whispering among themselves, casting suspicious glances. He remembered Mara's warning from the first trials. Some aliens had attempted sabotage before. He remained vigilant. Later, in a quieter chamber, Jerk discovered evidence of a plot. Certain rival teams had attempted to manipulate the elemental platforms remotely, hoping to cause the humans to fail. The mechanisms had been subtle, almost undetectable. Jerk studied the devices, understanding their design quickly. He called his team together. They tried to cheat. They thought we would fail, but they underestimated human observation, logic, and ethics. We don't fight unfairly. We adapt and correct. That is what makes us strong. By analyzing the platform's energy flows and adjusting their interactions, they ensured no future interference would affect their performance. Their actions were precise, clever, and morally sound. The Lyrians watching took note. This was not just skill, but wisdom and integrity in action. Princess Serenia appeared, her presence quiet yet commanding. "Captain Hale," she said, her voice calm, "I have observed your actions closely. You have not only succeeded in every trial but have done so with integrity, courage, and insight. You have seen deceit and chose to overcome it without causing harm. These are qualities rare even among my people. We believe that true victory is not in defeating others, but in maintaining principles while overcoming challenges. Humanity has learned much from these trials, and we hope our actions reflect that understanding. You have earned more than success in these trials. You have earned recognition and trust." That evening, the humans gathered in the Gardens of Reflection. Light from the twin suns danced across the crystalline streams, creating patterns that seemed alive. Jerk addressed his crew. "Today, we showed more than skill. We showed that humans are capable of ingenuity, courage, and ethical action even in the face of danger. We have proven that our strength lies not just in ability, but in character. We've seen that we can rise to any challenge, face any obstacle, and do so without losing sight of who we are. It is rare to see such balance of strength, wisdom, and heart. You have passed not by avoiding challenges, but by confronting them with wisdom and courage. That is the highest form of victory." They had demonstrated what it meant to be human, resilient, clever, and compassionate even when challenged by superior strength or cunning. In their quarters later, Jerk thought about the journey ahead. The final trial awaited, and he knew it would push them further than any before. It would demand not only skill and intelligence but also moral courage and selflessness. Yet he felt no fear. Humanity had proven itself time and again. They had learned, adapted, and thrived. Outside, Princess Serenia gazed toward the horizon, the twin moons reflecting in her eyes. She thought of the humans and what they represented, a species untested, unpredictable, yet full of potential. They had faced every challenge with honor and ingenuity, and she knew that the culmination of this competition would be more than a simple victory. It would be a revelation of the human spirit. Jerk finally lay down to rest, exhaustion heavy but satisfaction deep in his chest. Today, humans had not just survived, they had triumphed in ways no one expected. Their unity, cleverness, and courage had set them apart, and he understood more clearly than ever that the prize was not gold, not power, nor dominion. The prize was recognition, respect, and the acknowledgement of human capability and moral strength. Sleep claimed him, but the thought remained. Humanity was ready for whatever the universe could present. They had faced deception, danger, and impossible challenges, and emerged stronger, wiser, and more united. And when the final trial came, they would show the galaxy the true essence of humanity. The final day of the tournament dawned with a tension that vibrated through the entire Lyrian city. The twin suns of the Lyrian system rose high, casting glimmers across the crystalline towers and the vast plaza where the last challenge would unfold. Captain Jerk Hale stood at the edge of the gathering crowd, observing the other competitors, the Lyrian officials, and the murmuring audience. Every eye was on humanity now, not as a curiosity, but as a contender. Jerk's crew gathered beside him. "This is it," he said quietly. "Everything we've done leads to this moment. Remember who we are, remember our strength, and act together. Nothing is beyond us if we stay united." Inside, holographic images of Lyrian cities, forests, and distant planets shifted continuously, creating challenges that combined intellect, morality, and quick thinking. At the center floated a golden pedestal, upon which rested the final prize, the symbol of the Lyrian princess's honor, and more importantly, a recognition of human capability. The Lyrian herald spoke in clear English. "This is the trial of essence. No competitor may advance without demonstrating intelligence, courage, compassion, and integrity simultaneously. Choices will have consequences. Only those who understand what it truly means to act wisely and honorably shall succeed." Jerk observed the shifting environment, analyzing patterns in the holographic projections. He turned to Mara and the team. "This is more than action. Watch, think, and consider the outcomes of each choice. The path forward is not always the fastest, it is the right one." Competitors were told to act, but the method was unclear. Some rushed forward, destroying threats indiscriminately. The humans studied the situation. "We protect first," Jerk instructed. "We cannot solve the challenge by ignoring the people it affects." When a sudden collapse threatened to cut off part of the city, Jerk's quick thinking and clear communication allowed the team to redirect energy and resources, saving all without unnecessary risk. The holographic city stabilized, and the pedestal's glow intensified, signaling progress. Next, a moral choice appeared. A holographic Lyrian child was trapped in a dangerous area while a valuable artifact floated nearby. Many competitors ignored the child to claim the artifact, believing victory required acquiring objects. Jerk's team acted immediately. "We saved the child first," he said. Mara and the others followed, working in unison to remove hazards and ensure safety. Only after ensuring the child's safety did they secure the artifact. The arena shifted again. Now they faced a puzzle of logic and intuition. A massive crystalline lattice rotated in midair, each angle connected to another, with paths appearing only if certain conditions of cooperation were met. Other teams struggled, often splitting up or moving independently. Jerk studied the lattice, noting that the paths responded to synchronized thought and action. He instructed the team, "Observe each movement, Anticipate the changes, act together, trust each other. Step by step, the humans navigated the lattice, matching shifts, correcting errors instantly, and moving with a fluidity that seemed almost natural. Their cohesion and thoughtfulness allowed them to reach the final platform, where the golden pedestal waited. Suddenly, the pedestal emitted a pulse, projecting a final test. Holographic versions of the other competitors appeared, pleading for help in ways that mimicked real ethical dilemmas. Some Lyrians had tried to manipulate outcomes, hoping to provoke the humans into selfish decisions. Jerk assessed quickly. We act with integrity. We help where we can without compromising our mission. That is what humans do. The holograms responded, the projections dissolved, and the pedestal's light intensified, bathing the chamber in a golden glow. Princess Serenia appeared at the edge of the chamber, stepping gracefully among the observing Lyrians. Her expression was thoughtful, her gaze fixed on Jerk and his team. She spoke softly, yet the sound carried clearly. Captain Hale, humans of Earth, you have faced deception, danger, and impossible choices. You have acted not out of selfish desire, but with courage, wisdom, and compassion. You have proven that the strength of your species lies not in force, but in the unity of mind and heart. Humanity strives to act rightly, to face challenges with courage and intelligence, and to remain true to principles even when tested. Our actions reflect what we believe defines our species. You have earned not only the prize, but the highest respect of the Lyrian Council and myself. The humans had achieved what few could imagine, victory not through domination but through humanity itself. The Lyrians erupted in applause. Some competitors looked astonished, others respectful. The humans stood together, not as conquerors, but as examples of what a species could achieve when intellect, unity, and morality were applied with determination. Princess Serenia approached Jerk personally. "Captain Hale, the prize is yours," she said, her voice calm and warm. "Not because you are the strongest or fastest or most experienced. The prize is yours because you are the truest example of your people. Humanity has shown what it means to act wisely, bravely, and honorably. You embody the values that inspire respect and hope for the future. Our victory is not just for ourselves. It represents the potential of humanity to rise to challenges, to act with intelligence and compassion, and to thrive even when underestimated. You have earned your place among the stars, not through conquest but through character." Children waved, elders nodded, and the Lyrian Council formally recognized humanity's accomplishments, not for material gain but for the demonstration of moral courage, ingenuity, and resilience. That evening, the humans were invited to the palace, where Princess Serenia addressed them personally. "Your people have shown qualities that inspire hope. In a universe filled with challenges, uncertainty, and unknown forces, your species has demonstrated that intelligence and morality together create strength. You have reminded us that courage is not only in power, but in wisdom and compassion. Humanity strives always to learn, adapt, and uphold values that make us worthy of trust and respect. We hope our actions here have reflected that. Remember, the true prize is not the emblem you hold, but the recognition of your potential and the proof of your spirit." They had proven to the Lyrians and to themselves that humanity could rise to challenges with ingenuity, courage, and integrity. As the twin moons of the Lyrian system rose over the city, Jerk walked among his team. "This is what we came here to show, that humanity is capable of greatness not through force, but through heart, mind, and unity. That is the true prize." Somewhere in the towers, Princess Serenia watched, reflecting on the future and the unexpected promise of humanity. Jerk looked toward the horizon, feeling the weight and the honor of what they had achieved. The emblem in his hands glowed softly, a symbol not of power or wealth, but of recognition, respect, and the extraordinary potential of human beings. And in that moment he understood fully. The prize had never been gold or conquest, never dominion or riches. The prize had always been humanity itself, the courage to face the unknown, the wisdom to act rightly, and the unity to overcome any challenge. The humans of Earth had proven themselves worthy, not by force but by being human. As he finally rested that night, the sounds of celebration still echoing through the Lyrian city, Jerk felt a deep, quiet satisfaction. They had risen, they had triumphed, and they had shown the universe what humanity could accomplish. And the golden emblem glowing softly in his hands would forever remind them, the greatest prize was never given. It was earned through courage, intelligence, and the heart of mankind.